How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are keeping well and safe. My name is Dave and welcome today to a brand new video. It is going to be a tactics video here on Football Manager 2021. This tactic is going to be available for you guys to download today. Today's video really is for me to show off the tactic, show you the stats that we've achieved this season, show you different things such as set pieces and so on as well. It's been an interesting one with this system. I know plenty of you guys will be interested to have a look at this and download it as well. First of all, big shout out to an avid viewer of mine, Pav, who's helped me a lot with this system and tactic. We sort of over the last 2 years or so made subtle tweaks to it, and I was sort of bouncing between a couple of tactics, but for this season it's really been great. We've perfected it and I've settled on this system, and I'll show you why. There was one game when we didn't use the tactic and we lost. So yeah, it will be available to download via the WeStream FM website, which is in the description down below. Great website as well, WeStream FM. If you like written Football Manager content, there's loads on there and loads of different videos as well with Football Manager tips and Let's Plays and so on. So let's jump into the video and the tactic in particular. And this is it. So you can see that I'm managing Wolves at the moment. This tactic this season, we're in the 4th season. I've just won 5 trophies in one season with this tactic. So I've won the Premier League, the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, the Champions League and the European Super Cup as well. All in the same season with this system. Now, I'll be honest, we've got a good team. Across the last 3 or 4 years, we've built a strong team. All of this has been played live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Dave as a party. So all of it and all the players, all the negotiations, all the tactics have all been made on stream. So there's nothing, dodgy going on behind the scenes. You would have seen all the negotiation for the transfers, and we've just managed it quite well, really. So, you know what? Yes, we may have had a little bit of luck in a couple of games with this system because of the strength of squad that we've had, but there has been tests. I know Pav in particular has tested this system with smaller teams, even in the likes of South Africa and so on, with obviously players with much less in terms of attributes, and it's worked quite well. So I'm hopeful this system will bring you lots of success if you go and download it and use it. So the system itself, it's a you could call it a 4-4-2 or 4-3-3 really. You could class this guy as a forward, I suppose, but I call it a 4-4-2. In goal, you've got your sweeper keeper. In this case, for me, in the most recent season, I played Kepa Arrizabalaga with Nick Pope as a backup, and the only instruction they've got on there is take more risks, which you can see just there, and that already is a standard for a sweeper keeper on support. The two fullbacks we've got on wing back support. So your default ones are run wide with the ball, get further forward. The ones that we've added for this is cross from the byline, dribble more, sit narrower, tackle harder, and mark tighter. I know a lot of people have watched the streams and sort of tried to replicate this tactic, but haven't really got the success. A big part of it is due to these player instructions and team instructions, which obviously you don't really see unless you go in depth with it. The two ball-playing defenders have got obviously take more risks and hold possession on as default. We've got pass it shorter, dribble less, shoot less often, stay wider, and tackle harder on that. The left midfielder, the left winger, we've got in a winger attack role, pass it shorter, shoot less often, tackle harder, and mark tighter, along with the defaults of dribble more, run wide with ball, cross more often, cross on the byline, get further forward, and stay wider. We'll start on the attacking right midfielder, which is again another winger on attack. He's pass it shorter and shoot less often, but you can see dribble more, run wide with ball, cross more often, cross from byline, get further forward, stay wider, etc. And the two central midfielders, I've changed this one on the left hand side this season. It worked quite well for me. We've got a DLP on support, who I tended to use as my more sort of bigger midfielder, more defensive-minded midfielder. We've got dribble less, tackle harder, and mark tighter on that one. Shoot less often, take more risks, and hold position are the defaults on that one. And then a Mazzala next to him on support on the left-hand side with tackle harder and mark tighter. And obviously their default instructions are to get further forward, stay wider, move into channels and roam from position. And then the two strikers, you can sort of see they're slightly offset. One on the sort of far left we've put as a complete forward. If you don't have much success with this one, one I possibly recommend trying to pressing forward as well. But your defaults to this one are hold up ball, dribble more, take more risks, get further forward, move into channels and roam from position. The ones that we've added there are more direct passes and mark specific position, which if we go onto there, they'll be marking the right centre back. And then the right hand side is just an advanced forward, no special instructions on that one. The mentality that we tend to play with is attacking. In possession, you can see all the instructions there. So we've got a standard attacking width, pass into space, overlap left, slightly shorter passing, play out of defence, low crosses, run at defence, and a higher tempo. In transition, we've got throw it long, which we'll talk about shortly. Distribute to fullbacks, counter and counter press. That the throw it long is obviously the distribution from the goalkeeper. And out of possession, you can see a much higher line of engagement, a higher defensive line, use tighter marking, extremely urgent pressing, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, force opposition outside of with our defensive width, and get stuck in. So that's the team really. In terms of individual players, the one that I'm going to look at is the right winger to start off with. Mainly we used Adama Traore there. Now you can see Adama Traore, very quick, very fast player. But other than that, other than on the ball, he's not got a huge amount going for him. He still managed to grab us 17 goals from the right hand side and 10 assists this season. So a very, very good strike rate. If you've got a quick player there, that's what I would recommend really. Historically, we played him up front. This was with a different system and he was smashing in the goals. But you can see when we moved him out to the wing, he quieted down a little bit. Yeah, done still, I think 17 goals in a number of competitions for a winger is a good return. The advanced forward and complete forward, to be fair, this season the complete forward got more goals for me, but the advanced forward I tended to rotate a little bit more. The complete forward was Erling Haaland, of course. Like I said earlier in the video, these are very good players, but depending on your level, if you've got good players, it's going to work out. He grabbed 39 goals for us this particular season. In the league, it was a goal every 99 minutes, which is an unbelievable return. If you're looking at all the main competitions, a goal every 101 minutes, which is really, really fantastic. The other strikers that we tended to use a lot of were Fabio Silva, who again in his game time got 36 goals. Like I said, he was mainly playing as sort of the one next to Haaland as like the advanced forward. And again, looking at his stats, a goal every, if we take away the him playing for Portugal, a goal every 108 minutes, which is phenomenal. And then Mason Greenwood, who I'll be honest, played a few games, as you can see. If we go on to overview and where is it? Development, is it? Overview information. Where am I? Let me see. There we go. Development and tactics. You can see he did play a number of games out wide as well, scoring 6 goals in 12 games from a wide position. So let's take that into account. But he still managed to get a goal every 133 minutes, which again for me is a very, very good record. The guy that I used to tend to use as like the more defensive DLP, like I said, I prefer Declan Rice. Got that little bit of height, still a great passer of the ball, good vision and work rate. Just very, very good defensively. Unfortunately, he's been injured a lot for me this season, not had a huge amount of game time, but a very, very good player. That's who I tended to use. As a backup there, you know what, I'm not saying put a defensive-minded player there because I didn't do that throughout the whole season. As a different option, I also had Weston McKennie, who also good tackling, good, okay passing and work rate and so on in there as well. And that is really the system and the players that I tended to use, just to give you an idea really on those. Now, in terms of other things such as training and opposition instructions, I will be honest, training I did very little of. I left a lot of that to the coaches. I would look at it just to make sure everything there seemed okay. I would make subtle tweaks where I thought was necessary, if there were certain games coming up, but I wouldn't take full control over that. So that wasn't essential to this tactic. And opposition instructions before a game, I also did not really mess with. Again, I don't think I ever really touched them. Maybe on the very rare and odd occasion, but that wasn't vital really to this system. In terms of set plays, set pieces, We're going to talk about free kicks, corners, and throw-ins. Now, for the throw-ins, I always would set, like this is quite crucial to set your set piece takers. I would always set my left back to take my throw-ins on the left, although it hasn't got that at the moment, and my right back to take my throw-ins on the right. Now, it doesn't really matter too much with their long throws, if they're great or not. Nuno Mendes, for me, has got 11 long throws. Nelson Semedo, my right back, has also got 11 long throws. Mendes picked up a good amount of assists this season. I'm not going to say they're all throw-ins. He got 16 assists, but I'd probably say over half of them were, which is a good amount of goals to add from a set piece, really. Now, if we look at, let's start with the throw-ins now we're talking about them. Attacking-wise, we've got the setup there. 2 players staying forward, which are one of the strikers, which is our advanced forward, and our right winger. In our case, was Adama Traore and Greenwood or Fabio Silva, adding so much pace when you clear the ball. We scored a lot of goals from counter-attacks. Exactly the same on the left-hand side as well, but we used the left midfielder rather than the right winger. Now, the attacking throw-ins themselves, on the left-hand side, you have your left midfielder come short. And then, obviously, we've got the defenders in the box, the big boys in there. Our 2 fullbacks, well, obviously, in this case, because our left-back will be taking the throw-in, we'll only have 1 fullback back, which will be Nelson Semedo, which we don't need to worry about too much. And then you've got your 2 central midfielders lurking on the edge of the area. Same thing on the right-hand side, just the opposite. Again, your right back is going to be taking the throw-in, so you've got your left back staying back, your 2 central midfielders lurking on the edge of the area, and then your right mid coming short. So corners as well, we tended to score a good amount from corners. We'll look at the exact stats there. Defending it, again, we kept Adama Traore up for this one, just using his pure pace. We got a couple of goals from that. Same again on the left-hand side, Adama was the man to stay up. So, like you can see, depending on who your quickest player is, maybe, if you've got an exceptionally quick left midfielder, you might want to swap those 2 around. It's up to you, really. You can obviously look at these and tweak these. And then the attacking corners, we've got a few players back. This would really depend on who you want taking your corners. I had Leon Bailey taking a lot of mine, but you can see the defenders tended to get quite a few goals from these corners. Now, in terms of the actual stats themselves, by the way, you can watch a full season review of what happened in this season, but just prove that we won 5 different trophies there. Won the league, Champions League, Super Cup, FA Cup, and Carabao Cup just there. But in terms of stats themselves, if we go on to team detailed, you'll go on to goals. We scored 100 goals, which was 17 more than any other team in the league with this system this year. Our goals per game was 2.63, which is very, very decent indeed. Goals from corners, we did get 9. It was the same amount as Arsenal, so 9 corners. Not too sure why it's got a second there, as obviously we are level top with Arsenal from that. You can see defensively, 4th in the league. So I'm not saying it's going to stop goals. It is quite an attacking system. So you are going to concede goals, really. I'm not fully 100% settled on my defence in this save anyway. I know I've said I've brought in good players, but it's not the world's best team. And that's why I think this tactic is so good. I haven't got the world's best in every single position, but I'm still able to get this clean sweep of trophies. Defensively, it's still a good record, 37 goals conceded in 38 games, especially when you'll see some of the results. But that's the one area of caution, really, I would say. In terms of, I'm going to show you some highlights and some gameplay of it, really. If I show you the Premier League, so we lost 3 games in the Premier League this season. One of them, which you can see here, was with the tactic. To be fair, we've made subtle tweaks since this game. We lost 6-2. That is it's quite a rare defeat for us. Our second defeat came against Palace in this season, but as you can see, I was not using this tactic. I swapped out of this tactic. A huge, huge error on my part. And, we did go on to regret that. But up until towards the end of the season, with the 4-3-1-2, which the game calls it, or 4-4-2 in my eyes, we were completely unbeaten, and you can see some huge results there. A 5-1 win over Spurs, a 3-0 win over Chelsea, a 5-0 win over Palace. Some really, really strong victories in there as well. 5-1 over Everton on the penultimate game of the season as well. Now I'm going to show you some of the goals. One of the best examples of the throw-ins which I'm going to show you is from the 7-2 win over Manchester United in the Champions League. Now, take a look at the minutes of the goals. We scored a goal in the 1st minute, 3rd minute, 9th minute, the first 3 goals. Take a look at how all 3 of these goals come about. And this is a perfect example, I think, of the system working and just adding those extra things, not just a formation and scoring goals in open play, but having an advantage of set pieces helping you in your favour. So goal number 1 within the 1st minute comes from a long throw from Nuno Mendes. Goal number 2 in the 3rd minute, goalkeeper in no man's land. Nuno Mendes throws it in for Kamara to head home. And goal number 3 after 9 minutes, Mendes drops to Greenwood and he scores. There's not one clear area there where the goals have come from. Not one clear source in terms of it's not us throwing it to a centre-back and him scoring. We threw it to Haaland, who shot first time. We threw it to Haaland, who dummied it for Greenwood. We also threw it and it came off a defender's head as well. So there's not one solution every time. A lot of the time what it does, it sort of drags the goalkeeper off his line slightly and gives you a much better chance of scoring. But you can see some of the football. This goal is unbelievable, by the way. Semedo, what a finish. Just some of the football that this system and tactic produces, really. And Declan Rice bursting forward there. Haaland, it does help when you've got lethal strikers. If you've got a pacey and a good striker in front of goal, this system is going to get you goals and lots of them. But this was a game that I was nervous about because it was quite a close first leg. This was the second leg of this Champions League game and we absolutely smashed Manchester United. You'll see here defensively just a little bit of a gap throughout the middle there, which was quite disappointing to concede. But to score 7 goals against Manchester United, who are such a powerful team on this game, is massive, really. There's so many highlights, really, that I can pinpoint to, to try and find goals and so on. I'll see if I can find now a goal from a corner as well. So free kicks, of course, similar to set pieces. I'm going to show you there. Pau Torres, who was a big centre-back for us, scoring in that one. Free kicks, I didn't really show them, but they're set up quite similar to corners. If you've got any questions about anything, obviously, as well, let me know. I think in the Champions League final, Pau Torres may have scored from a corner. Let's have a quick look at this one as well. You'll see some of the players that we have got in there, an ageing Neymar being signed up as well. We've got some really, really strong players. Yeah, this one's from a corner. So Neymar sort of swinging it in and Pau Torres running in there as well. So many examples of that in all competitions. We went on to score, a decent amount of goals. Let's see our stats though. If you want to pause the video at any time just to have a quick look at some of these. There's so many stats for you guys to have a look at. An 86% pass completion across the whole season, which is very, very decent in my eyes. Decent tackles, 1% as well. But yeah, there's lots on there that you can have a quick look at. But guys, that is the tactic, the system that is available to download in the description down below. Be sure to let me know what your thoughts are of it if you have used it. And I wish you guys some serious success with it. If you want to see the journey from this Wolves save, you'll see we've used a number of different fantastic systems and tactics. You can check out my channel from Season 1 to the most recent Season 4. We'll be having a new save coming out very soon. Be sure to check it out on twitch.tv/DaveAsAParty. And I'll be dropping some more FM videos on the channel over the next couple of weeks or so. So be sure to subscribe and enjoy the rest of your day, guys. I'll catch you all very, very soon.